Let's first have this guy.
We decided to wear the jersey today. Why not wear it tomorrow?
Oh, it's right.
Hey, okay. Hey. I thought you're fearing to wear it tomorrow.
Why are you bullying that guy? Many fans are interesting.
Oh, man.
Okay, you're good.
I'm good, bro.
It's not like we are live on TV
Yeah.
or radio or anything, but it's an everything talk. More of a podcast
Yeah.
than anything really. But I'm super excited to have you.
So good to see you.
Regardless,
The last time we had a conversation was on X.
it was on X, and it's
X
crazy how
president.
people can sit and talk on social media
Yeah.
and never get to meet.
Yeah. Like social media has given a lot of, I think it has given communication such a very easy platform.
Yeah,
It's easy to talk to people and meet people without really meeting them. And
yeah, that's
It's a
very
good
true.
thing.
That's
It's a
very
good
true.
thing.
And by the way, we have Dr. Hillary.
All of those who are watching, my name is Dr.Hillary Okello,
My name is Leonard.
comedian
Yeah.
in Uganda and Africa at large.
By the way, you gave yourself the title of finest comedian.
Stand-up comedian in Uganda.
Finest stand-up comedian.
Yes, I'm not the best, I'm the finest.
And there's very few that can disagree with that, but we don't care.
For us, we don't care. For us,
Right
we
now,
just
we don't care.
you
All we
put in
care
the
about
work
is-
and you put out the work and people actually appreciate the work.
And it's really true because you've been putting out the work recently. I've seen you perform on very many stages, very many platforms. Of course, you most recently concluded. Is it a concert?
No, it's a show.
Let's just call
I
it.
call that a show. Uganda must laugh.
I was there myself. Very big turn up.
Where is it? Were you down or were you up?
I was actually up.
Bro, up was fun. I didn't know, and the next, but you see the challenge I had with that show is Ugandans have an affinity to let ticket sales.
Yeah.
You started selling tickets a month before, but can you imagine the show was in March, but in Feb we had sold like 5 tickets only. Only 5. But then as March, when we entered March, then it started selling like 2
They
today, tomorrow,
skyrocketed.
3. You start seeing just a few figures.
Yeah.
But then the week of the show, that's when you start selling 20 tickets today, 30 tomorrow. And then the day before we sold 150. Then at the venue, we sold over 100 tickets at the venue.
At the venue.
And you're like, why did these people buy online? So that you can book another night.
But that's the beauty of Ugandans. You will tell them to come at 2, they come at 7. But that said, comedy is growing in Uganda.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it wasn't that easy for someone to hold a show or something like that. But recently, I've seen there are very many people that have been holding shows.
Yeah.
And it's becoming somewhat of a consistency, which for me is a sign that it's
a growing art.
It's a growing art.
Yeah.
And there are very many arts out there that should be given the same attention that maybe people haven't been giving attention.
Yeah.
But as Dr. Hillary, when do you realize that you can actually do comedy? That you can actually make people laugh?
It's funny because when you're young, everyone is funny. You know, your siblings are funny, your parents are funny, so you can't really say that you're the comedian there. But for me, I learned about stand-up on my way to Kampala. We used to have holidays and go to Lira for holidays, and you come back to Kampala for school. And I can never forget, and I've shared this many times, is I was traveling with my mother in a bus from Lira coming to Kampala. And in the bus, you know, buses have screens and they sort of put something to entertain the passengers. And that day, they put Night of 1,000 Laughs. Actually, we're traveling at night.
Yeah.
That midnight bus where you reach in the morning. So they played Night of 1,000 Laughs. It's one of the biggest shows to come out of East Africa, where the best African comics were in Nairobi.
For those
Kenya.
who haven't watched,
Go and check out Night of 1,000 Laughs.
Yeah.
So you watch Pablo, Basket Mouse, Clint the Drunk, everyone.
Those are top.
Those are top, like top comics. And then also put that Basket Mouse beat of 2 things involved.
Yeah.
And Clint the Drunk. So you're watching that for the entire journey for over 5 hours up to Kampala. Now, as a child, you're thinking, this is so interesting. I don't know how these guys do it, but for one person to stand with a mic and make the whole place go wild, that is something I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's the moment I got interested.
So let me get this clear. You were on your way from Lira,
Yeah.
coming to school,
Coming to Kampala
to study.
Coming back to study, yeah.
By that time
we'd go to Lera for holidays.
by that time you were already at campus or still in
I was no, I was in what, high school.
high school?
I was in high school, yeah.
Okay. So after that, do you immediately start making people laugh? Or?
No, after that, I start writing stuff.
Yeah.
Because you now start researching what is stand-up comedy, how do you become a stand-up comedian, you know. And at the time, internet wasn't like a real.
Yeah.
It wasn't like so spread.
Yeah.
So you wait when you go to the computer lab, then you search about it,
And search about everything.
and then you start now. I have a friend who was an Indian in
Yeah.
school, and he told me you should watch Russell Peters, and I was like, who's Russell Peters? Like, it's a good comedian. So then now you research and start watching the
And you
videos.
start watching.
You're like, okay, now you start gathering a whole catalog of comedians to research about.
Very true.
Then I started performing now in school, because now I would write stuff and then I'd need where to perform it.
How was the reception in school?
It was fair because in school, first of all, most people knew me, so a lot of people know.
They know you to be funny, or
They know it to be funny because I was like in drama stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So you already had like a rapport with most of the students. So then I started doing. I would ask for at least 5 minutes on every event, whether it's like maybe it's election season and they're electing the new head boy or wherever.
Yeah.
And there's an entertainment slot for guys who come and rap. Guys
like,
who
let me
then they're
make people laugh.
They're like, let's also give Hillary 5 minutes to make people laugh. So then you come and do that. Well, it's sports day. They'll now even allow me to MC such events.
Yeah,
They just want
yeah.
you to give life.
So I'm wondering, at that stage, do you see yourself to become a feature comedian,
Yeah.
or are you
Well,
just doing it for fun?
At that stage, I knew that's what I want to do. But remember, you're in school and you already good with your
So why
parents.
were you wasting your parents' money?
No, it's not wasting.
Why do you waste your parents' money?
I wanna say it's
Because
wasting.
You
It's
could
just-
have said, you know what, I already know my career path. So
You know, Ugandan politicians, they don't say they stole money. They say the funds were diverted.
you have an issue with Uganda.
So I just diverted the funds.
But you know why I'm asking that? Because you don't only stop at A level, you go on to do medicine.
I wanted to do clinical medicine.
Clinical medicine.
Yeah.
Why do you go to do clinical medicine and yet you already know what you want to do?
But from O level, I always wanted to do medicine. I found it as an interesting profession. You know, medicine is beautiful. You ever gone to a doctor and you have and the brain, you have headache,
Yeah.
and then he says, "Let me check your legs." And now, for you as a patient, you're wondering, how is the leg connected to the headache? You see what I mean? So I found that beautiful, like how somebody can diagnose a disease that is affecting the body through just the color of the eyes.
Very true.
So I wanted to learn that, and also I figured if you're going to use your parents' school fees, don't use it for like genuine
stuff.
knowledge, like acquire something that really.
So
has
are you
value.
saying that other people?
I have not. Those are your words. I did not say anything about Swasa.
I want to be sure social work
Development studies. I did not say these things. You know.
You know, people
But I was really
take
interested.
offense out of minor things.
Yeah,
but the exciting part is that you went on to finish your course first, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to comedy. So how was the reception like after starting to do this professionally? How was the reception like in the early stages?
So I started professional. I started comedy in 2017. That's when I started going to comedy clubs and meeting stand-up comedians. The reception, of course, is tough because comedy is a cruel art form. Even if you're the best comedian, it's still cruel to you. Yeah. Even the best comedians still die on stage. They have a bad night.
I think it's about art in general.
Yeah, you can never
music.
you can never have hit songs only. You'll always have